Hello students, it's good to have you join me again, and today we are looking at the topic sentence types. Much has been done on this, but there is need for us to explicate explanations on this topic. Our objectives for this lesson: to identify different sentence structure in context. We should be able to demonstrate understanding of their usage and functions, follow steps to improve sentence structure, and lastly, to use sentences creatively. Introduction. A sentence is a group of words which makes complete sense. It is a complete statement that can independently stand on its own without drawing its meaning from any other source. Okay? What we are trying to say here is that a sentence has all the key elements, and these are subject, verb, object or complement, and adjunct. So once you have all this in place, then you say you have a complete sentence. Sentences are constructed with words, with phrases, and clauses. Now, today, the focus of this lesson is to look at types of sentences according to structure, talking about the structural arrangement of words to form sentences. And the first one here is simple sentence. Okay, I will be using some symbols to represent these structures. For simple sentence, a simple sentence, also called an independent clause, contains a subject and a verb, and it expresses a complete thought. Now, what we are trying to say here is that a simple sentence has just an independent clause that is known as main clause. So it can stand on its own. Okay? We call it alpha clause. An alpha clause is independent because it has all the elements in place and can stand on its own. We have some examples here. Kara and Joe are cousins. You can see we have a simple sentence here because it has just one main verb. So that makes it alpha. That makes it independent. Okay? It is an independent clause because it has only one main verb. So you have Kara and Joe as the subject, you have are as the verb, and cousins as the complement. What you have here is complementing the subject, because what you have here is this. They are cousins, and the cousins are this. So it makes reference back to this. Also, Smith has not completed his task. So this is also a simple sentence because it has one main verb. You will observe that you have two verbs. But what we have here is a negative coming in between the verbs. But this is an auxiliary verb, so it does not count. And we have just one main verb, main, or you call it lexical verb, which is completed. Alright, the second type of sentence according to structure is compound sentence. A compound sentence has two alpha clauses. Two alpha clauses. That is, two main clauses. It contains two independent clauses joined by a coordinating conjunction. If you don't have a coordinating conjunction, okay, in between these clauses, you don't have compound sentence. So the coordinators or conjunctions are, once you see and, or, but, no. We have few others, but majorly these four perform these functions. Okay, we entered the house. That's the first example. And sat down. So what's the first main clause here? It is we entered the house. So this is a main clause that can stand on its own. Then we have a coordinating conjunction, and. Then we have another main clause. But to avoid repetition, the subject is not included. Okay? So the two clauses are we entered the house, we sat down. Okay? So sat down, we have a main verb here. We have another main verb here. But we have a deletion of the subject to avoid repetition there. So this is a compound sentence having two main clauses. We have another example here. The boys were singing, but nobody was dancing. So the first main clause here is this. The boys were singing. And the second, nobody was dancing. So that's the second main clause, okay, joined by a coordinating conjunction but. Next, complex sentence. A complex sentence has one main clause, one alpha clause, and one or more subordinate clauses. So we call it beta clause. Okay? One main clause, one or more. So we have it as B plus. A complex sentence has an independent clause joined by one or more dependent clauses. So a complex sentence always has a subordinator. Okay? A subordinator. Such as because, so, that, to, since, while, which, and so on. Okay? To link the clauses. We have these subordinators to link the clauses. E.g., before we can go outside, everyone has to finish the quiz. So we have two clauses here. The first one is before we can go outside. The second clause, everyone has to finish the quiz. So which one is main? Which one do you think can stand on its own? If you look at the two clauses, you see that this one cannot stand on its own. It relies on the second clause, on the alpha clause, for its complete meaning. So everyone has to finish the quiz is the main clause. Before we can go outside is the subordinate clause. So a complex sentence has one main and at least one or more subordinates. Also, can I have your dessert since you are not going to eat it? So the main clause is, can I have your dessert? So you have this as the main, as the alpha. Then you have a subordinator here, joining that. The second clause, you are not going to eat it. So this is main, this is subordinate. Alright? So we move to the next one. Compound complex. As the name implies, compound, that means two main clauses. Complex, one main and at least one or more subordinate. So a compound complex sentence has two main clauses and one or more dependent clauses. E.g., before I went to the lab, I rushed to the dining, had my lunch, so I could participate well. Are you there? Alright, so if you look at this example, we have the first clause, before I went to the lab. So this is a subordinate clause, it's a beta clause. The next one, I rushed to the dining. This is a main clause, it's an alpha clause. Because of this comma, the next clause is also main. Ate my lunch is another main clause. So the last one, so I could participate well, is another beta clause. So the structure of this sentence is two main clauses, two subordinate clauses. So once you have that, you say you have compound complex sentence. Then we have another example here. If they reduce the price, you may buy it. You have more on this in the task given to you in our Google Classroom. Alright, we move to the last one. Multiple sentence. This is a sentence that is made up of three or more main clauses, joined together by two or more coordinating conjunctions or separated with comma. So it's either you have coordinating conjunctions or you have a comma to separate these clauses. Now let's look at this example. I will go to the office and ask the manager to sign the form, but I will not submit it today. Here we have three main clauses. The first one, I will go to the office. You have a coordinator there. The second one, I will ask the manager to sign the form. Main. Then we have another coordinator. The last one, I will not submit it today. So you have three main clauses here. Okay, to determine that, you are looking at the coordinators. You are looking at the conjunctions. So this is a coordinating conjunction. This is another coordinating conjunction. Okay, and the second example here. God knows, cares for, and protects his beloved. Here, even though the sentence is very short, but you have three main clauses here. The first one is God knows. To avoid repetition, you can see the subject is removed here. So it's still God cares for. And the last one, God protects his beloved. Alright. So the structure of a sentence, our conclusion now, depends on its arrangement. For you to determine the structure of a sentence, you look at the arrangement and the number of clauses embedded in it. So the key vocabulary on this topic: modifier, sentence fragments, run-on sentence, passive and active sentence, independent clause, subordinate clause. I need you to go through this, okay? Look them up in your dictionary, okay? That will help your learning of this topic. All right? See you in class. God bless you.